Hi everyone, welcome to the second webinar conducted by TCS in lieu of the upcoming management case study examinations happening in November 2023. My name is Nick and I'm one of the lead tutors and evaluators for MCS at TCS. So in this webinar, I will be taking you through, give me a second please guys, two people joining in. Okay. So in this webinar, I will be conducting the first part of the pre-scene analysis. As you already know, if you attended the first webinar, you would know that our pre-scene analysis sessions consist of 4 videos. So out of these 4 areas, the first part will be handled in tonight's session. So, all right. So session outcomes are, first things first, I will be talking about tips pertaining to how you can bring in information from the pre-scene when developing your answers, because it's of utmost importance at this level. In the first webinar, I highlighted what your role is. You are playing the role of a finance manager. So as a finance manager, you need to have a good understanding about what happens within your chosen industry, as well as you need to be extremely conversant with the internal dynamics, because if you are conversant especially with internal dynamics, you come up with high quality answers, because whenever you are developing recommendations, they need to be aligned with the internal dynamics of the company, as well as what is highlighted within your question or your scenario. So I will be highlighting about pre-scene application, tips pertaining to pre-scene application. Then in the second part of tonight's webinar, I will be take you through an industry analysis based on the real life dynamics of the industry on which this time's pre-scene is based. And as the final outcome of tonight's session, I will be doing a pre-scene analysis, the first part of it out of a total of 4 videos. All right, people are still joining in. Let me admit them. Okay. Folks, I hope you can keep your mics on mute so that there won't be any disturbances to the session. So let me remind you about the MCS webinars and workshops which we are conducting in lieu of the November 2023 session. So we held our first webinar last Sunday. So I hope you were able to attend it. If not, I urge you guys to go and watch the recorded version of the webinar, because in that I highlighted the technicalities behind the MCS exam, and on top of that, I provided a 6-week study plan. And if you stick to the study plan, you can easily pass your MCS exam without going through extreme levels of stress, because as you know, most students find CIMA studies, especially when it comes to case studies, to be extremely stressful. That is not the case. If you stick to our study plan, it's just a matter of attempting a mock per week. Everything else is handled by us. It's, you need not go through any study material or whatnot. We have developed a set of videos for each and every, focused on each and every mock. So it's just a matter of attempting a mock per week, and the rest of the time it's all about watching a set of videos. Then you'd learn theory, you'd improve your application skills, as well as significantly improve your answering or answer planning techniques. So these things were covered in the first webinar. If you are yet to check it out, I urge you guys to go watch the recorded version. And in tonight's session, I will be conducting a pre-scene analysis. And the third webinar is extremely important as well, which is happening on Saturday, the 7th of October. When developing answers, you need to adhere to an answering strategy or answering technique. If not, you are not in a position to manage your time appropriately. According to the CIMA examiner, most students end up failing the exam because they run out of time. So it's of utmost importance that you stick to an answering technique. If you do, you won't run out of time. And if you do not run out of time, your chances of passing the exam is extremely high. So I hope you'd attend the third webinar as well. And in the fourth webinar, exam prep, I will talk about what you need to do to develop a positive attitude or a high level of confidence both before the exam as well as whilst attempting your exam. Because again, as per the CIMA examiner, students who have a positive mindset end up easily passing the MCS exam. And on top of that, as part of the fourth webinar, I will also talk about what you need to do when it comes to avoiding certain activities which leads to a failure. So all these tips will be provided in the upcoming webinars, and we are holding two Q&A sessions as well. And by the time you are at this level, when you are supposed to attend the first Q&A, you should be done with at least 3 mocks. So you'd have questions, and all these questions can be clarified. You can get in touch with us via these Q&A sessions, and the final Q&A happens right a week before the exam, where the finishing touches will be provided. So remember that all these sessions are conducted free of charge. So you have something like 7 weeks until your exam. So out of the 7 weeks, we are getting in touch with you almost every week. So make use of this opportunity. Even if you are not utilizing our study resources, that's totally fine. Make sure to use the services which we are providing. Folks, I hope you can keep your mics on mute so that it won't be a problem to the others. Yeah. Okay. Then all right, so let's look at the first part of tonight's session, Preseen application. What's the right approach when it comes to bringing in information from the Preseen? So first things first, you need to know your key information. So for example, this time's Preseen is based on a company called Cuppcar, which is into selling new and used cars. They are not only selling new and used cars, they are also selling related products and services as well. So you would understand what these things are in a little while when I conduct the industry analysis, then move on to the Preseen analysis. So, although at the exam, the Preseen will be available to you, you won't actually have time to go through the Preseen document, scroll through the pages, and, go through the technical nitty-gritties. Instead, it's beneficial if you can remember the most important points which are highlighted within the Preseen document. So when it comes to remembering the most important points, the annotated Preseen comes in handy. And today's Preseen evaluation session will be done based on the annotated Preseen which we have prepared for the MCS management case study exams. So once you go through the annotated Preseen, the annotations will provide you with an extremely good summary so that it's easy for you to remember the most important points which you need to have in your mind when attempting your exam. And in order to make your life easier, what we have done is we will be releasing a set of TikTok videos, 3 TikTok videos in total, which covers the most important points which are highlighted within the Preseen within just 9 minutes. So we will be developing 3 videos, and these will be released next week. So from next week up until your exam, if you keep on watching these 3 TikTok videos, the length of one TikTok video will be something like just 3 minutes. So if you keep watching these 3 TikTok videos on a daily basis, then you'd remember the most important information. So you need not do anything to memorize. Just keep watching the TikTok videos. Then, utilize our annotated Preseen as well. So it's extremely important that you know your key information. Then you need to be conversant with numbers as well. You have to remember the key ratios. And this is where our financial analysis slides come in handy. And out of the 4 Preseen analysis sessions, the 4th video is primarily focused on the financial analysis, and the financial analysis sessions are carried out based on the financial analysis slides which we have prepared. So if you go through these financial analysis slides, then you'd remember the most important points with regards to the financial performance of your chosen company as well as its closest competitor. And you have to prepare for possible scenarios, but be open-minded, because any area of the syllabus can be tested. So your knowledge pertaining to E2, P2, and F2 related syllabus content will definitely be tested at your exam. So it's important that you attempt exam standard and pre-seen specific mock exams. So we at TCS, we have developed 5 mock exams, with the intention of covering the entire syllabus, so that if you attempt all 5 mock exams before the exam, there's absolutely no way that you'd be faced with questions which were not covered within our mocks. Why? Because our mocks cover the syllabus in its entirety. So the best practice when it comes to passing your exam is to make sure that you attempt 5 exam standard mock exams way before the exam, so that you are in a position to see similar questions at your real exam. Although that is the case, it's better to be open-minded. Why? Because as per your role, you are playing the role of a finance manager. So as a finance manager, if you are to do your job properly, you have to be open-minded. Because if you're narrow-minded, your recommendations won't make sense. If you're narrow-minded, you won't consider the external dynamics as well as the internal dynamics when providing recommendations. So it's of utmost importance that you be open-minded. So the best thing to do with regards to achieving this type of this level of open-mindedness is to attempt mock exams. And remember that the scenario presented in the exam carries the latest information. So the examiner gives you an indication about the industry dynamics as well as the internal dynamics of the company. And on top of that, at the very end, the financial statements are also provided. So all this information gives you a picture about what has happened within the company as well as the industry in the past. However, at your real exam, it's as if you are walking into office and you open up your emails, and your senior finance manager or some other director had sent you an email highlighting a certain problem or some type of an opportunity the company is trying to exploit. So based on the content of the email, you are supposed to develop recommendations or come up with suggestions. Okay, so when coming up with suggestions and when developing recommendations, you need to make sure that your recommendations make sense. Your recommendations are aligned with the internal and external dynamics of the company, as well as your recommendations align with the scenario which is highlighted within the question. So that's why I said that you need to understand what appears within the pre-scene, but just understanding the pre-scene won't help you. You need to always remember that what is highlighted, or all the information which is highlighted within the pre-scene, gives you an indication about what has happened within the company in the past. But at your real exam, the scenarios presented will carry latest information. All right, so how are you supposed to refer to pre-seen information in your answers? You are supposed to refer or cite in such a way that it adds value to your answer. So I've seen, numerous students out there. When I say that you are supposed to bring in information from the pre-seen, every time you attempt a task, I've seen so many students out there, simply they bring in information from the pre-scene which are actually not relevant to the scenario. If that is the case, you're not going to get any marks. In fact, you're going to lose marks, because whenever you are bringing in information from the pre-scene, you need to ensure that it is relevant to the scenario which is highlighted within each and every question which you would see at your exam. So there's a way in which you are supposed to do this. So there's absolutely no point of forcing it in to show the marker that we have studied the pre-scene. Just because you bring in irrelevant information from the pre-scene, you're not going to get marks. Okay, so you are supposed to attend the third webinar, exam tech, where we will be not exam technique. I've done a blunder here. It's actually answering technique. So if you attend the third webinar, you'd understand how to do it, because as part of answering technique, I will highlight how pre-seen information relevant pre-seen information needs to be brought into the answer with the intention of improving the quality of your answer. Okay, so when developing your answer structures, you need to think and bring in information from the pre-seen. And if you do it with the intention of adding value to your answer, definitely you'd pass your MCS exam. So you are supposed to refer to the suggested answers and answer plans of mock exams to understand how and when pre-seen information is brought into the answer. You'd easily understand this by referring to the answer plans of the 5 mocks which we have prepared. So when you see the answer structure, you can easily spot when, when and how pre-seen information had been included within the answer. And you are supposed to watch the MCS master classes as well. If you attended the first webinar, you know what I'm talking about. So via the master classes, we are explaining the logic of each and every answer of all 5 mocks. And whilst explaining the logic of each answer, we are teaching theory as well as application skills. So, whilst teaching you application skills, I will also be highlighting how pre-seen information needs to be brought in to your answer with the intention of improving the quality. So if you attend the third webinar, refer to the answer plans and watch the MCS master classes, you will champion this technique with regards to referring to pre-seen information. All right, so what should be your study plan for E2, F2 and P2 related areas? So if you are a student who is coming through the CIMA general route, you would have done your OTQ exams. And if you need not actually, if you had aced your OTQ exams, you need not actually, go through these syllabus content. However, if you are coming through an exemption route, such as the Master's Gateway program or the Finance Leadership program or the FLP, then you need to go through these theoretical elements, or you need to brush up your knowledge in these areas. So at your exam, as a finance manager, you are involved with practical decision making. However, if you are supposed to come up with the best decisions, you have to be conversant about theories and concepts. Okay, so you have to, just because you know your theories and concepts, you are not going to get marks. You have to, when developing answers, you have to apply these theories and concepts to the scenario which is highlighted within the question. If that is the case, you would gain good marks at your exam. And prepare for interpretation of figures and numbers as well. You are not supposed to do any calculations, carry out any calculations at your exam. However, all the facts and figures will be provided as part of the scenario or as part of reference material of each and every task. So what you're supposed to do is, you have to go through these numbers, facts and figures, and you have to be in a position to interpret these facts and figures. So that's what you need to remember. Guys, I hope you can keep your mics on mute so that it won't disturb anyone else. Thank you. So you have to prepare for interpretation of figures and numbers. So as I told you earlier, you need not do any calculations. All the calculations will be provided at the exam as part of the scenario or the reference material. You just need to interpret it. And when going through syllabus content, you are not supposed to skip any topic. I've seen so many tutors out there saying, certain parts of the syllabus will not be tested at the MCS exam, which is not true. Because any area can be tested as per what is highlighted by the CIMA examiner. And when developing question papers, this is exactly what we have experienced as well. Actually speaking, we can't exclude any area from the syllabus because the entire syllabus is relevant, and covering the entire syllabus, we have developed the 5 mock exams. And do not rely on any predictions, because any area can be tested. Again, I've seen so many tutors out there committing this mistake with regards to predicting certain concepts or issues which can be tested at the exam. Yes, you can predict, but there's no hard and fast rule saying that the same area will be tested. So you are playing the role of a finance manager, so you have to be prepared for anything and everything with regards to what is covered under E2, F2 and P2 syllabuses. All right, so that's the first part of tonight's webinar. So before we dig in to the industry analysis and the pre-scene analysis, let me quickly remind you about what we offer at TCS. So we are in the MCS page. So we offer 3 courses: essential, value, and premium. So if you are a student who is coming through the CIMA general route, and if you had aced your OTQ exams without failing any of your OTQ exams, or if you passed your OTQs in your first sitting itself, we recommend you to go for the essentials pack. If you do, you'd get your hands on the recorded versions of the webinars, 5 mock exams with suggested answers, and the 4 pre-scene analysis videos. And this package is priced at £119. And if you are a student coming through the CIMA general route, however, if you had failed when attempting any of your OTQ exams, then you need some type of additional support. If that is the case, it's prudent for you to opt for the value pack. So if you go for the value pack, it comes with all the services which comes under the essentials pack. Additionally, you'd get your hands on the annotated pre-scene. You'd see what the annotated pre-scene looks like in a little while. Then you'd get your hands on the industry analysis cards. Again, you'd see what the industry analysis cards look like and what it contains in a little while. Then you'd get your hands on the financial analysis card. So let me quickly show you, how our financial analysis cards are designed. So as you can see, you need not evaluate the financial statements on your own. We have done it for you. So simply go through these information which we have highlighted. You can, by doing that, you can easily understand what has happened with regards to profitability within the chosen company. So the same could be said about the SOFP or the balance sheet as well. So the percentage changes have been considered, and based on these things, we have conducted evaluations. And at the very end, you can see the ratio analysis related information as well. So you can see your chosen company as well as its closest competitors, ratios have the numbers had been worked out, and based on it, evaluations have been provided in a concise manner so that you can easily understand what happens within the company as well as its closest competitor with regards to the financial performance. So you'd get your hands on the financial analysis slides if you go for the value pack, and you'd also get your hands on the top 10 likely issues, the case study familiarization kit, and you'd have access to a live chat via Twilio so that you can get in touch with tutors as and when you want. And you'd also gain access to the theory recaps of OTQ syllabus content. So rather than going through pages and pages of textbook content pertaining to theoretical areas, you can simply refer to these revision cards, and brush up your knowledge with regards to the theoretical elements which are tested at your MCS exam. So this package comes at £199. And the last package is the premium package, which covers the entire study process. So if you are a student who had failed your MCS exam previously, or if you are a student who is coming through the CIMA exemption route, such as the Management Gateway or FLP programs, it's prudent for you to go for the premium package, because you need to have all the type of additional support and one-to-one tutor mentoring, tutor feedback and mentoring in order to stand a chance to pass your MCS exam. So it comes with all packages or products which are covered under the value pack. On top of it, you'd also get access to the online mock exam platform, where you can attempt all 5 mocks under exam conditions. So after attending the 3rd webinar, you will learn an answering technique. And if you keep practicing this answering technique, you will manage your time appropriately as well. Just because you learn your answering and time management techniques, you cannot implement them at your real exam without practicing them. So the best way to practice your answering and time management techniques is to attempt each mock under exam conditions via the exam platform. Okay, so we have developed an exam platform which is akin to the Pearson VUE system, because you would be using the Pearson system when attempting your real exam. So we had developed a similar exam platform so that you can attempt all 5 mock exams under real exam conditions, get accustomed to exam stress, at the same time practice answering and time management techniques 20 times over. Okay, so each mock carries 4 tasks, just like in your real exam. So 4 tasks into 5 mock exams is 20 tasks in total. So if you utilize this service, you would be practicing answering and time management techniques 20 times over. That's enough and more practice for you to champion answering and time management techniques, thereby overcome this hurdle at your real exam. So you'd gain access to this service if you go for the premium package. And on top of that, you'd get professional marking and one-to-one tutor feedback on mocks 3, 4, and 5, which is going to be extremely beneficial for you, because then you'd understand what your real shortcomings are, and way before the exam you can overcome these shortcomings. So let me quickly show you the type of feedback which we provide at TCS. So as you can see, on a paragraph by paragraph basis, we have developed, we have provided feedback. And if there are any additional feedback which we need to provide, we have provided these things at the very end of each answer. So throughout the answer script, you can see that for every paragraph we have provided feedback, and at the very end the mark breakdowns are provided so that you understand what your real shortcomings are. And you can maybe towards the weekend focus on developing answer plans for areas or subtasks in which you have not gained good marks. Okay, so that's the type of tutor feedback you'd receive for mocks 3, 4, and 5. And you'd also get your hands on the answer plans of all 5 mocks. This is a service which is not offered by any of the service providers out there. So you just get the mocks and the suggested answers. We have gone a step further, and we are providing the answer plans of all 5 mocks, with the intention of ensuring that you are in a position to easily learn theory and improve your application skills, and significantly improve your answer structuring skills by referring to these answer plans. So these answer plans are a good short note of all the suggested answers of each and every mock. So rather than going through pages and pages of suggested answers, simply by referring to the answer plan, you have a summary at your disposal. So closer to the exam, during the last week, before the exam, you are simply supposed to go through these answer plans. So it's as if you are revising the entire syllabus. You are revising answer structuring skills. You are revising the theoretical elements, as well as how precise information should be brought into your answer. So based on these answer plans, we will be conducting the master classes as well. So if you go for the premium package, you would get your hands on the 20 master classes explaining the answers of all mocks. Whilst explaining the answers, I will be teaching you theory, as well as giving you tips pertaining to improving your application skills. And this comes with a monthly installment payment option. So you can pay in 2 installments of £325, or else you can pay in full and save £50 as well. And you can directly purchase via the website itself. And the premium package comes with a pass guarantee. So if you end up investing on the premium package and fail the exam, you will gain access to the premium package once more in your subsequent sitting free of charge. However, you need to fulfill these requirements to get the pass guarantee. So you have to be extremely these requirements are there to ensure that you are extremely serious about your preparations. So you have to attempt all 5 mock exams via the exam platform, and your solutions needs to be original. You can't be copying the suggested answer. If that is the case, you can't claim the pass guarantee, because you are not being serious when attempting mock exams. And you need to score more than 40% for mocks 3, 4, and 5. Your pass mark is 54%. However, you just need to attempt, gain 40% or more for mocks 3, 4, and 5. Why? Because again, if you are not serious, you just get 20% to 30% of marks. So you have to be serious when attempting mock exams. That's the only thing which we are asking you to do. That's your only responsibility. So when attempting mocks, be serious. In order to ensure that you guys are serious, we have included these requirements. And if you submit the pass guarantee form, you can click here and submit the pass guarantee form here itself. And once you do that, you can claim your pass guarantee. So the package comes at £649. If you pay in full, you can purchase this package at £599, or you can opt for 2 monthly installments of £325. So let me quickly remind you about what you need to cover under the study plan. So we are in week number 1. And as you know, the first week is dedicated towards identifying and or understanding the Preseen document. So you are supposed to watch the Preseen analysis videos within the upcoming week and refer to the annotated Preseen, then refer to financial analysis, industry analysis, and top 10 issue slides. So within this week itself, you are supposed to master the Preseen document. Then from week 2 onwards, on a weekly basis, you are supposed to start attempting mocks one by one, preferably via the exam platform. And if you stick to our study plan, you can easily pass the exam. Do not listen to what we have to say. Just check our feedback, which we have received from our students. Your pass mark is just 80 out of 150. But if you stick to the study plan, you can gain more than 100 marks. That's exactly what our students who had stuck to the study plan has achieved. All right. So having said that, let's move on to the Preseen analysis, the much awaited event of tonight's session. So before I kickstart the Preseen analysis, I thought it's prudent that I take you through certain slides of the industry analysis slides which we have developed, because it's of utmost importance that you understand the industry dynamics before you go through the internal dynamics of your chosen company. So first, you need to understand, as a finance manager, first you need to gain an in-depth understanding about the industry. If you understand the industry, then it's easier for you to understand about the internal dynamics of your chosen company. All right. So our industry analysis slides consists of 4 main areas. So there's an industry overview. In the second part, I've highlighted the industry trends. In the third part, the industry challenges, and in the last part, considering a real life company, I have provided a real world example as well. So in tonight's session, because I want to quickly move on to the Preseen analysis session, I will be focusing your attention towards the industry overview and the industry trends only. Okay, so first things first, you need to understand how you define the market. So this time's MCS Preseen is based on the car dealership industry. So what is a car dealership? A car dealership is a retail business that sells new and or used cars. So there are a set of car dealerships which only sell new cars. And there are another set of car dealerships which sell new as well as used cars. They serve as intermediaries between manufacturers and consumers. So whenever a car is manufactured by a car manufacturing company, usually they do not sell it to the end consumer directly. Instead, they go through a middleman, and we are the middleman in this time's case study. So a car dealer sits between the car manufacturer and the customer. So the car manufacturers will manufacture a certain vehicle, push the finished good or sell the finished good to a car dealership, and the car dealer in return will end up finding a customer and pushing the finished good or selling the finished good to the end consumer. They also offer after sales services such as servicing, repairs, and upgrades. So if you are running a car dealership, it's not only about selling cars. You need to think about after sales services as well, because if not, your customers will be dissatisfied. So you have to be involved with servicing related affairs. So you need to have your own servicing depot. So you need to have the appropriate set of equipment in it. Then you need to have well-trained staff members working within it, or else it leads to customer dissatisfaction. Then you have to handle repairs, as well as certain customers might opt for upgrades or some type of personalization. So you need to have staff members who carry the capability to fulfill the needs of these customers. And on top of that, you have to deal with several stakeholders, such as the part manufacturers, because you have to be really concerned about the type of parts which you use when servicing the vehicle. You cannot simply purchase the lowest quality or lowest priced parts. Instead, you have to opt for parts which are recommended by the car manufacturer, or else your relationships with the car manufacturing companies as well as customers will be affected in a negative manner. They may also assist the customers to obtain personal loans or leases for their cars. So again, another business aspect which we are involved with. We are not just selling cars. We are involved with providing servicing, repairs, and upgrades. And on top of that, we help customers to obtain personal loans to purchase cars, as well as find or opt for leasing agreements when purchasing cars. So that's what car dealerships are into. And most of the car dealerships are run on a franchise model. So let me highlight what this franchise model is about. So under the franchise model, the manufacturer sells the car to the dealer, and the dealer sells it to the customer. So that's pretty basic, as I highlighted earlier. The franchises are awarded to dealerships that can fulfill a certain criteria. So it's something like this. So let's assume I want to start a dealership with BMW. So if that is the case, I need to go for a franchising agreement. As per the franchising agreement, I can use the branding of BMW, which is going to attract customers. And since I'm using this branding, I need to stick to the contractual terms which are stipulated within the franchising agreement. So the usual contractual obligations are, if I'm to run a dealership, I need to have an appropriate location. I need to be located in a certain area, and I need to have the appropriate amount of space to run a car dealership. And on top of that, I need to have appropriately trained and skilled sales staff members. And on top of that, I have to have the capability to run a servicing department. And within this servicing department, I need to have appropriately skilled employees, as well as the appropriate type of parts and equipment. So if you fulfill these three things, then you can opt for a franchising agreement. So that's how this business is run. So if I'm running a BMW car dealership, if I'm running a car dealership which is branded as BMW, I cannot sell other branded cars within it. So that's part and parcel of the industry dynamics. And if you go through the first video of the Preseen analysis, out of the 4 videos, if you go through the first video pertaining to the Preseen analysis sessions, which come under the paid content, then you'd better understand what I'm talking about with regards to the franchise model in relation to car dealerships. A franchise dealership showroom is allowed to sell only that manufacturer's new cars. And however, the dealership is free to sell any used cars in the showroom. So as I told you earlier, when running a car dealership, you can sell both new as well as used cars. So when selling new cars, if I have signed an franchising agreement with BMW, I can only sell BMW branded vehicles when selling new cars. However, within the same premises, if I am selling used cars, then there is no restriction as such. I can sell any type of used car I like. So that's how this dealership business works. All right, so that's an overview into the industry. So let me quickly move towards the trends which we see within the industry, which is actually transforming the industry. So there's digital transformation. Dealerships are leveraging artificial intelligence and data analytics to gain insights into customer preferences and improve marketing efforts, customer service, and inventory management. So most car dealerships out there, with the intention of better understanding customers, they have inculcated artificial intelligence into their decision-making processes. So they are using AI to predict about the demand in the market, to predict the consumer tastes, to predict what drives customer satisfaction and what drives customer dissatisfaction and whatnot. So throughout the sales process, we are trying to keep track of the needs of customers with the intention of ensuring that the customers are satisfied at all times. Okay, so you can see digital transformation occurring within this industry, and e-commerce and online sales had come into the picture. So usually what happened in the good olden days was, if you wanted to purchase a car, you had to walk into a dealership. But now what's happening is most of the younger customers, they purchase the vehicle via an online platform without visiting a physical location. Okay, and most customers who are above the age of 35, they do their research online and walk into a dealership to make the purchase. However, the younger customers, they are not interested in visiting an outlet. Instead, they purchase their cars outright via online platforms. So e-commerce is growing in this area, in this industry, and remote diagnostics and services are also offered. So technologies such as telematics technology had been implemented within vehicles with the intention of ensuring that the user gets the best performance out of the vehicle, and the service cycles can be kept track of using telematics technology. And telematics technology is used for diagnostic related services as well. And when it comes to vehicle maintenance, there's a subscription model which had come into play. So some dealerships are offering subscription services for vehicle maintenance, covering routine services, repairs, even wear and tear items for fixed monthly fee. So in the good olden days, when you were purchasing a vehicle, with regards to vehicle maintenance, you had to, pay the lump sum whenever you went to the garage or the dealership to get your car fixed. However, that is not the case now. You can opt for a subscription-based maintenance scenario, so that you can easily manage your servicing-related costs. So these are the trends which you can see within the industry. I hope you gained an appropriate level of understanding about the technicalities behind the industry. So let's get to the Preseen document. Okay, so let's look at what your role is. Before that, let's try to figure out what the company is up to. So Cuppcar is a quoted company that operates 214 car dealerships that are spread across its home country, Welland. So this is a quoted company. So since this is a listed company, these areas will definitely be tested at your exam. The share price reflects investor confidence. Then you have to deal with different types of stakeholders. So you have to be conversant with the way in which you manage each of these stakeholders. Then since you are a quoted company, since the company is a quoted company, corporate governance, your knowledge pertaining to corporate governance and adherence to corporate governance regulation will be tested. And on top of that, integrated reporting related knowledge will be tested. And F2 related areas pertaining to segmental reporting will be tested, as well as IAS 33 earnings per share, because this is a publicly quoted company. We are dealing with share price fluctuations. So in such an environment, definitely IAS 33 earnings per share related knowledge will be tested. And whenever we are going for an investment, we have to consider multiple financing options, be it debt or equity. So all these knowledge pertaining to these areas will be tested at your exam. Each dealership sells new and used cars and related products and services. So as I told you earlier, as part of the industry analysis, this company is not only involved with selling cars, They are also involved with providing related products and services. So you'd understand what these related products and services are once you go through all 4 pre-scene analysis videos which we have conducted. Okay, so if you opt for paid content, then you'd understand what all these related products and services are. Welland's currency is the W dollar, and according to the Wellandian company law, you have to adhere to IFRS. So this is in line with what is highlighted within your F2 syllabus. You are a finance manager at Cuppcar's head office. Your primary responsibilities are associated with management accounting, and you report to the senior finance manager, who reports directly to the finance director. So although you are playing the role of a finance manager, you are not only supposed to be conversant with F2 related syllabus content, you need to know your E2 and P2 related elements as well. Especially if I give you an example, in the good olden days, a finance manager was supposed to, work out the numbers. But now that is not the case. As a finance manager, you have to deal with different types of stakeholders. You have to deal with different types of employees. You are not supposed to just manage the financial aspects of the company. You have to, provide leadership to your employees. And on top of that, you have to be involved with decision making. You have to liaise with the board members, your superiors, as well as different types of external as well as connected stakeholders. So just knowing your numbers won't help you. You need to be conversant with all syllabus areas. So that's what you need to remember. All right, so having said that, let me quickly move on to the internal dynamics of Cuppcar. Yes. So Cuppcar was founded in 1964. So the company had been in existence for the past 60 years, which is considered as a significant strength. It drives because you know about the technical nitty-gritties pertaining to the industry, and it's easier for you to manage your business when you have been operating within the same market for the past 60 years. So this is a significant strength of the company, and the company had been quoted in the Wellandian stock market since 1998. So for the past 25 years, we have been trading in the stock market as a listed company. So again, this is a significant strength of the company. This drives positive goodwill as well as brand reputation for us. And there are now 214 Cuppcar new car dealerships, and we are employing 25,000 staff members. So HR related aspects which are covered under the E2 syllabus will definitely be tested, because we are dealing with 25,000 staff members. If you watch all 4 pre-scene analysis videos, you would understand that we do not have a separate HR department within this organization. Instead, the HR department falls under the purview of the COO, the Chief Operating Officer of the company. And since we are dealing with 25,000 employees, we can't have the COO looking into HR aspects, because the COO has better things to do with regards to operations of the company. So it's prudent for the company to have a separate HR function. So definitely there will be a scenario where the company is thinking about setting up an HR function, or else when dealing with HR related issues or dealing with employees, we'd have to involve ourselves with conflict management related strategies, how to carry out negotiations. All these things will be tested at your exam. Cuppcar is one of the largest new car dealers in Welland, both in terms of dealership and revenue. So we are one of the largest car dealerships within the country, which is a significant strength again. The company invests heavily in product training, in sales and in sales training for all customer-facing staff. So this demonstrates that customer service is a top priority for Cuppcar. So I highlighted these points when conducting the industry analysis as well. So a car dealership, as I told you earlier, is not only involved with selling cars. Instead, they are providing value-added services as well. So when providing value-added services, our sales employees need to understand the needs of the customers and what we can offer. And these could be multifaceted. So in such an environment, we need to have skilled staff members who are handling sales. And on top of that, we need to have skilled employees who are working within the service centers. Okay. So training is essential. That's exactly why Cuppcar believes in investing on training and development, which is actually something good to have. Each of the company's dealership is designed to create a positive impression on the customer. The dealerships are large and are designed to attract customers. They are located alongside main roads, often close to motorway junctions, making them convenient for customers. So all these things are strengths and reiterates that customer service is a top priority for Cuppcar. Okay, with the intention of providing the best type of service to the customers, we have made sure that we offer all these positive things to to our customers. Most of Cuppcar's customers research the purchase of a new or used car online and then visit their local dealership. I highlighted this point earlier when conducting the industry analysis. So most customers, they do their research online, but when it comes to the purchase decision, they usually walk into a location, a physical location, and purchase the car. It is, however, becoming increasingly common for customers to choose and purchase cars online for home delivery. So, as I highlighted earlier, give me a second, please, guys. Someone's mic is on. All right. So as I highlighted earlier, the online or e-commerce platforms are growing in numbers, and most of the younger customers are purchasing via these e-commerce platforms. And if someone purchases via an e-commerce platform, we have to deliver the car to the customer. The dealership principal in charge of each dealership is granted a significant amount of discretion over operational matters. So this is highlighted within the industry dynamics of the of the company, of all the information provided within the Preseen. So there's this person who plays the role as a dealership principal. So this individual is akin to a general manager of any given business. So the dealership principal plays the role of a general manager, thereby managing the overall business aspects of each and every car dealership outlet. That's what you need to remember. So the dealership principal is in charge of each dealership and is granted a significant amount of discretion over operational matters. So what are these operational matters these dealership principals are supposed to handle? Including pricing of new and used cars. So the car prices are stipulated by the car manufacturer. However, each dealership has the discretion to offer discounts, because if you go through the industry dynamics, then you'd understand. If you watch the first Preseen analysis video, then you'd understand what I'm talking about. Because when selling cars, as I told you earlier, car dealerships are playing the role of a middleman. And when selling a car, you have to stick to the prices stipulated by the car manufacturer. And the car manufacturers provide KPIs in terms of achieving sales targets and achieving customer satisfaction. So when running a car dealership, you are answerable to the car manufacturing company with which you have a franchising agreement. So the car manufacturing company expects you to achieve two main things. Number one, achieve the sales target, because if a company or a car dealership does not achieve the sales target, they are not getting the sales incentives. And on top of that, each car dealership needs to achieve the required level of customer satisfaction as well. So these are the two main areas in which our performance is measured. So, with the intention of driving sales, because we have to achieve the sales targets. If not, we are not getting our incentives. So with the intention of driving sales, what each car dealership usually does is they will provide a discount with the intention of selling cars as fast as possible, thereby adhering to the sales target set by the car manufacturer. So that's exactly why it is mentioned in here that each dealership principal or each general manager which manages a dealership has discretion pertaining to offering discounts, recognizing that each brand of car may require different sales approach and that regional differences can affect the approach taken to sales. So each principal, each dealership principal or each general manager carries the discretion pertaining to stipulating discounts as well as conducting sales strategies, because the way in which you carry out sales strategies could be totally different from one geographical area to another. You need to consider about the income levels of people living in a certain area. So let's assume you are running a car dealership in an affluent area where there are high income earners. If that is the case, you can sell luxury vehicles. However, if you are selling cars within a low income geographical area, then you cannot sell. There's absolutely no point of selling luxury vehicles. You need to sell cars which provide fulfill the economic needs of the customers. So based on the geographical area which you are located, each dealership principal will adhere to a certain sales strategy, and the dealership principal has all the autonomy to decide on the type of sales strategy they adhere to. So while this can improve regional sales, if there are significant price differences across Cuppcar's dealerships, it can cause some confusion among customers. So, considering a certain car, if in one of Cuppcar's dealerships a 5% discount is offered, and in another dealership if a 10% discount is offered, that is going to confuse customers. So it's not too good to confuse customers. Then some customers who got a smaller discount might feel that they were discriminated. So in such an environment, it's better to have some type of control pertaining to the amount and the type of discounts each dealership principal is supposed to offer to our customers. All right, so let's look at the operations pertaining to selling new cars. So as I told you earlier, via a car dealership, new as well as used cars are sold. So let's look at what Cuppcar is up to when it comes to selling new cars via its outlets. Cuppcar has varying numbers of dealerships for each popular brand. For example, it has 17 dealerships selling the Barto Motors brand and 2 that sell Limolux. Barto Motors is one of Welland's most popular brands, and Cuppcar is keen to have as many dealerships selling its cars as possible. And Limolux is an exclusive brand of luxury cars with a limited market. So based on this information, I've highlighted a possible exam scenario which can be tested. There definitely will be a scenario where we are, adding a new car dealership to our portfolio. So if that is the case, your knowledge pertaining to how to handle business risks which are aligned with this initiative, you'd have to appraise the investment to figure out whether it makes financial sense or not. Then how to find finances. Should we go for debt or equity? If we go for debt, how is it going to affect our gearing ratio and whatnot? So sources of finance related knowledge will be tested. Then this is a new project which we are conducting, so project management will be tested, as well as you'd have to deal with different types of stakeholders, especially employees. So HR related aspects will be tested at your exam if such a scenario is thrown at you at your real exam. Cuppcar is in competition with other dealers for new car sales. Barto Motors has 370 franchise dealerships in Welland. These are distributed across the country. Customers are generally willing to drive to a more distant dealership that can offer their choice of car at a good price. So that's exactly why I said when stipulating discounts, we have to be really careful, because customers are ready to, drive long distances to a dealership where he saw her, a car is available. And on top of that, their purchase decision is based on the discounts on offer. So we can't be offering, uh, different discounts within Cuppcar, two different Cuppcar dealerships. That's what you need to remember. And Cuppcar's dealership principals pay close attention to the activities of rival dealerships and the activities of other Cuppcar's dealerships in their general vicinity. It appears that there is a high level of competition among car dealers in Welland. Yes, definitely, because as per what is highlighted in the industry dynamics, the margins on offer within this industry is extremely low. If you are selling a luxury vehicle, your profit margin which you're going to receive from the car manufacturing company is about 10%. However, if you're selling a normal car, your profit margin ranges from just 2 to 3%. So within the Preseen itself, it is highlighted that this profit margin is not enough to cover the overheads of running each dealership. So these dealerships depend on profitability with regards to the added services which they provide. They cannot make a lot of profits just by selling cars. Instead, if you sell new cars, for instance, you cannot cover your overheads. So if you are to make a profit or if you are to make additional revenues, you need to rely on the added services which are offered via our dealerships. Okay, so these things are highlighted within the industry analysis. I'm just mentioning the relevant information whenever it can be included to what I'm discussing right now. Okay, and Cuppcar earned an average gross profit of $2,913 per new car sold, including manufacturers' bonuses during the year ended 31st December 2022. So, this is the amount of money you can gain or make on average if you sell a new car. Cuppcar aims to maximize sales in a number of ways. So, how are we trying to drive sales and maximize revenue? We are focused on how we present ourselves to customers. Every dealership has a receptionist who greets potential customers and directs them to available sales executives. All incoming emails and telephone voicemails must receive a response on a day of receipt. Why are we doing this? Why are we opting for instantaneous communications with customers? Why are we focused on instantaneously providing answers to customer queries? Because if we do that, then we would appear as, or we are presenting ourselves as customer-centric car dealers. Okay, so that's why we are doing these things. And sales executives must be smartly dressed, and they are required to be experts in their car brand. They must also be aware of any promotions being offered by Cuppcar or by the car manufacturers. So there must be continuous training and improved communication to achieve this type of quality when it comes to how we present ourselves to customers. Then we are hell-bent about providing appropriate levels of customer care as well. Cuppcar aims to develop a strong relationship with each of its customers, primarily through the after-sales services provided by its workshop. So the after-sales services which we offer is a critical success factor because, as I told you earlier, a customer will not just walk into a dealership and purchase a car. After purchasing a car, a customer will be interested to know about the type of after-sales services he or she is receiving. All right. So handling after-sales services at the utmost level of quality is considered to be a critical success factor for our business. Customers are more likely to buy a new car from a dealership that has been reliable and has offered good value for money, and cars are washed and polished after each service and no additional charge is made to the customer. That is pretty basic because usually in car dealerships nowadays, with the intention of achieving a higher level of competitiveness or competitive advantage, these type of benefits are given to the customers. Any complaints are addressed immediately by the workshop manager. Service advisors are authorized to offer discounts when customers face large and unforeseen repair bills. So you'd understand who these service advisors are and what their role is once you go through the first video where I've highlighted the industry dynamics. Sales executives are expected to generate sales leads by telephoning previous customers to ask whether they are happy with their car and whether they might be interested in changing the car. If the customer has no immediate plan to replace that car, then the sales executives will schedule a follow-up call after an appropriate interval. So this indicates that our sales staff members are involved with personal selling as much as possible. And the follow-up calls might be too problematic in the eyes of the customer, because it's not too good to inconvenience a customer, because once you call a customer and if the customer says, no, I do not want a new car, if you keep on calling the customer, then that leads to customer dissatisfaction. So it's better to rethink this strategy. Why Cuppcar is involved with this type of an activity is because of the pressure of sales targets. If we do not achieve the sales target stipulated by the car manufacturer, we are not getting the sales incentive or the sales bonus. Okay, so with this in mind, Cuppcar is trying to push sales as much as possible, and this could be detrimental for our brand in the long run. Then with regards to pricing, as I told you earlier, we can sell below the retail price stipulated by the manufacturer. Thereby, it's normal for any car dealership to offer discounts. The margins on new car sales are generally small, so discounts can result in cars being sold at a loss. But that may still make good business sense if the alternative would be the loss of the financial incentive paid by the manufacturer or manufacturer for achieving the target for sales volume. So, as I told you earlier, the margins for selling a new car is extremely low. I said, if you're selling a general car, the margin is just 2 to 3%. On top of that, with the intention of pushing sales, we'd offer a discount. Then with the discount, we are getting just an extremely small margin. So this extremely small margin is not enough for us to cover the overheads. However, these car dealerships such as Cuppcar are forgetting about these margins, still offering discounts with the intention of benefiting from the bonuses on offer. Because if we achieve the sales target, then we will receive a bonus from the car manufacturer. So with the intention of somehow hitting the sales target, the car dealerships forget about their margins and keep on offering discounts. In the event that cars are sold at a loss to meet the sales target, but the company fails to achieve the target, then the company would neither make profit from car sales nor from the incentive from the manufacturer. Hence, this strategy should be pursued with caution. Yes, so this works out fine. We can offer discounts and push car sales as much as possible, as long as we are benefiting from the sales incentive received from the car manufacturer. So let's assume in a certain month, we sold cars at a loss, because when we provide a discount, given the small profit margin, most of the time we might be selling cars at a loss. So let's assume we sold cars at a loss, still we did not achieve the sales target, then we are not getting the bonuses, we have not made profits when selling cars. That's going to be extremely detrimental for the bottom line of the business. So this strategy should be rethought. Which just because we are supposed to achieve the sales targets, it's not too prudent to give significant discounts. Instead, it's better to think about the margins and keep running the business into the future. Dealerships can also offer upgrades in order to persuade customers to sign a sales contract. So these upgrades are offered with the intention of improving our profit margins. So if a customer opts for an upgrade, the customer has to make an additional payment, and this will result in additional sales for the company. And since the customer opts for an additional payment, our margins will increase. So this is one way of improving our margins, given that the margins on offer are extremely low as per the industry dynamics. Each sale must be approved by a new car sales manager before it is finalized. Approval includes authorizing any discounts and agreeing the trade-in value of the customer's old car. So again, if you go through the industry dynamics, some customers, what they do is, rather than purchasing a car outright, they will go for a trade-in option. So that's a scenario where you have your existing car, you return the existing car or sell your existing car to the car dealership, and in return you end up purchasing a new car. So that's called a trade-in offer. Okay, so whenever going for whenever a customer is opting for a trade-in offer, we need to stipulate the price at which we purchase the used car of the customer. So there is a valuation involved with regards to purchasing a used car. And on top of that, when stipulating the discounts, we still need to get the authorization or go through an approval process, which is actually good for the company, because if such a control is not there, we will be losing out sales, as well as if we undervalue a car, then again it will affect our profitability in a negative manner. And inventory availability drives sales as well. So whenever a customer walks into our dealership, we need to have the type of cars which needs to be there, or else our customers will be dissatisfied. And Cuppcar's policy is to transfer cars between dealerships if that is necessary to make a sale. So if a certain customer walks into the dealership and wants, finds out that a certain model is not there, then what we do is we'd ask the customer to stay for 1 or 2 days, come back 1 or 2 days later, and we'd request for a similar car from another dealership. So we'd purchase from another dealership with the intention of ensuring that the car is available for customers. So when dealing with these type of, or when carrying out these type of transactions, transfer pricing comes into play. So your knowledge pertaining to transfer pricing will definitely be tested at your real exam. Cuppcar can order specific models from manufacturers, although there can be significant lead time before orders are fulfilled, which can irritate customers. Many car factories are located overseas, and so building a car to order and importing it to Welland can take several weeks and possibly even months. Hence, Cuppcar must be transparent and keep customers informed about the expected lead times right from the beginning of the order process to avoid customer dissatisfaction. So there's a significant lead time when it comes to ordering new cars. So if we do not have cars in stock, rather than lying to our customers, we have two options. We can directly import it. If that is the case, there are significant lead times involved and we have to keep our customers informed about it. Or else the other option is to purchase a similar car from another car dealership. And when going ahead with this transaction, transfer pricing will come into play. And data analytics, we are involved with data analytics as well. The company has a business intelligence system that enables the collection and analysis of data from internal and external sources without having to specify queries in advance or impose a structure on data. So we are involved with data analytics, which is good. This gives us an indication about what our customers want and whether our customers are satisfied or not. However, we have to ensure that we align ourselves with GDPR regulation, because when gathering information from external and internal sources, we have to adhere to GDPR regulations at all times. And on top of that, your knowledge pertaining to disruptive technologies, which are covered under the E2 syllabus, will also be tested. Cuppcar's management team frequently uses data mining techniques to identify useful patterns and relationships that can be used to improve revenues and profitability. So this can be a source of competitive advantage. Since we are involved with data mining initiatives, we'd better understand our customers relative to our competitors. We are also involved with providing fleet leasing services, especially focused on corporate customers, because let's assume there's this corporate customer which runs a warehouse. So in order to run a warehouse, they would need a fleet of vehicles such as lorries and trucks. So in such an environment, it's better to deal with these type of B2B customers, business to business, or be involved with business to business relationships. Why? It will help us achieve our sales targets easily rather than selling our cars to individual customers. If we get hold of a corporate client, then we can sell a bulk of our vehicles instantaneously, thereby enabling us to easily achieve our sales targets. So that's exactly why we are involved with fleet leasing related activities. So there are these cars are then supplied on an operating lease, usually for 2 years. So again, your knowledge pertaining to IFRS 16 leases, especially concerning operating leases, will be tested at the real exam. The fleet leasing department purchases cars from Cuppcar dealerships. Again, when doing this, transfer pricing will come into play, and dealerships can count sales made to fleet leasing towards their volume targets, which can be helpful in ensuring that they meet the threshold for manufacturers' sales incentives. So as I told you earlier, going for fleet leasing arrangements is going to be extremely beneficial for us, because we are in a position to easily achieve our sales targets. All right. So having said that, it brings us to the end of the Preseen analysis session, which I thought of conducting tonight. So if you have any questions, you can raise them now. You can simply switch on your mic and talk, or drop a message on the chat section, so that I'm in a position to answer all your queries. Any questions, folks? Folks, make use of this opportunity. I've been talking for the past hour, so it's your time to talk now. If you have any questions, you can raise them now.
Maybe just one more concern.
Yeah.
It's important to indicate time, because I was prepared for an hour, so I didn't know that it would go past 1 hour. So when you are preparing for one, you should be also indicating time.
Yeah. So well, I'm sorry about it, but if I never said that it's only going on for an hour. Usually the second webinar goes on for 1.5 hours. And if you look at the third webinar, where I'll be taking you through the answering techniques, it will go on for something like 1.5 hours again. So, I have to cover everything. I can't, stop the session halfway through. So that's why it went for 1.5 hours. That's normal. I've never said that it only goes on for 1 hour. Any other concerns or questions, guys? TWM, what is your concern? All right, folks. So thank you for those questions, and thank you for highlighting your concerns as well. So TWM, you have raised your hand again. Although you have switched on your mic, I can't hear you. So I think it's prudent for you to drop your message on the chat section, because I can't hear what you're saying. Okay, so let me remind you on, if you have any concerns, you can drop a message on the chat section. So let me remind you about the pass rate which we achieved for the February sitting. We achieved a pass rate of 91%. So this student, as you can see, gained 103 marks at the MCS exam. So this is a student who came through the exemption route. So simply, Aaron stuck to the study process, or the study plan which we provided, and achieved a first time pass. So if you stick to our study plan, I explained the study plan in the first webinar. So if you stick to our study plan, you can easily pass the exam. It's just a matter of attempting a mock per week, and closer to the exam, a week before the exam, you would be relaxing when all the other students are experiencing extreme levels of stress. So you can replicate the same type of work which Aaron carried out and achieve a first time pass, not just a first time pass. When a pass mark is 80, you can achieve easily achieve more than 100 marks. So TWM is saying, thanks for the good Preseen analysis. Thank you very much for your feedback. Just want to comment on IAS 33 and IFRS 16 in terms of depth of a possible exam scenario. Yeah, so with regards to these areas, you'd have to reiterate the accounting standards. So there will be within your scenario, there will be a question which highlights certain information pertinent to, if for instance, if you look at in an operating lease, IFRS 16 needs to be utilized. So all information pertinent to an operating lease will be provided as part of your reference material. Utilizing this information, you need to develop an answer. So I cannot simply say how we are supposed to do it, because there's a methodology which you need to adhere to. So what I will do is I'm conducting the third webinar where I'll be highlighting answering technique, and when doing that, I'll make sure to include a question pertaining to IFRS 16 leases. Then you'd understand what I'm talking about. I hope that helps, because without going through a question, I cannot simply, you won't understand if I simply say what you're supposed to do without referring to a question. So it's better to discuss these things in depth. So I will develop an answer plan, and based on that, let's discuss this area. Okay, so and let me remind you about the £50 discount which we're offering on the MCS premium package. So if you pay in full, you stand a chance to save £50. All right. Seems like there aren't any more questions. You are welcome, Abigail. Thank you very much for your feedback. Glad to help. All right, so you can contact us via our website, which is www.study@tcs.com, or drop us an email via our email address, which is info@study@tcs.com, or WhatsApp us on this WhatsApp number. And I urge you guys to follow us on our social media handles, especially our TikTok handle, because as I told you earlier, the Preseen analysis videos will be not the videos, not in its entirety, but TikTok videos, which covers the entire Preseen within something like 9 minutes, will be uploaded to TikTok. So it's prudent for you to keep watching these things on a regular basis, with the intention of ensuring that you remember the most important points which are highlighted within the Preseen. So I urge you guys to subscribe our TikTok handle, as well as the recorded versions of these webinars will be uploaded onto the website as well as on YouTube. So go follow us on YouTube as well, and you can like us on our other social media handles as well. So having said that, it brings us to the end of today's session. I hope you guys gain something out of the extensive industry, as well as industry analysis, as well as the internal dynamics which we looked into. And if you want to gain an in-depth understanding of the entire Preseen document, it's prudent for you to opt for paid content and gain access to all 4 Preseen analysis videos. So having said that, thank you very much for joining in. I hope you'd join our third webinar, which is an extremely important webinar. And as suggested by TVM, I will include a question on IFRS 16 leases as well. So I hope to see you there. Thank you very much. Good night and take care.